Hi everyone, I'm Jennifer. I'm an animal communicator, and as of the past 3 weeks, I am a carnivore. Before that, I was keto, and I have made peace with knowing that animals have consciousness and feelings, but also knowing that I need to eat them. And we will get into that in other videos. The reason that I was inspired to start this video and start this channel was actually a video I saw a few weeks ago from Emma, Kerry's daughter from Homesteadhow. And there were a lot of things I wanted to say to her because I felt like I could help her with some of the things she was struggling with. I hesitated. And then I saw a video today from Carnivore Kipp about his struggles, and I was like, I can help these people. I have to be brave and speak up. So here's my attempt to do that. So my first experience with carnivore was so many years ago that no one was calling it carnivore back then. And I didn't do it consciously to be carnivore. It was the summer before my senior year of high school. I had really bad problems with candida from having been on antibiotics for Lyme disease and having been placed on estrogen to start my periods when I was 14. So that summer, which I guess I'm giving away my age, and I don't look my age because of keto, but it was the summer of 1989, and I got really, really fed up with my candida symptoms. And I knew that carbs were feeding the candida. And I said, bleep it, I'm just not eating carbs. And I didn't. I just ate chicken and beef basically for the entire summer. I'm not sure how many months. It was probably like 3 months. But I made mistakes with it. I was too strict with myself. I didn't eat enough fat. There were probably other things that I did wrong. And that's why I related so much to Emma when she came out with her video saying that she had fallen off of carnivore because friends had tempted her to eat sugar. She ate a ton of sugar. She fell off. Health things came back. So I experienced something very, very similar where at the end of that 3 months of eating carnivore, too low fat, and with no guidance from all the people we have now, like Dr. Berry, Dr. Chafee, Dr. Westman, all these people just doing it, I cracked. And I remember I was sitting on the back steps to our house, and there was this big bag of popcorn, and I just could not stop eating it. And then it was like the diet was over, but a binge eating disorder started. And that went into my senior year of high school. I was under a lot of stress for different reasons and really went into an out of control binge eating disorder, gained about 40 pounds, and struggled with that to varying degrees for the next few years until I had some insights into my own behaviors that helped me overcome that, which I'll talk about in another video. And I also started reading Dr. Atkins' books, Protein Power, and there was another program that's not very popular anymore that I really won't talk about because it's sort of for a good reason that actually really helped me, and I overcame that. I lost all the weight, and I did it in a really healthy, really gradual way over a few years, but I have That was when I was in my early 20s, and I am 52, and that weight has been off for 30 years and never come back. When I had my pregnancies, I just gained, a very normal amount of weight, and it just fell right off afterwards. Eating a healthy diet. I wasn't keto. I was eating, for most of those years, I was eating sort of paleo. But I had some issues with my blood sugar during my brief foray into vegetarianism. I had low protein levels, anemia, infertility, lots of things like that. And I'll get into that in another video too, because I want to get into these tips to help people who are struggling to stay on a keto or a carnivore diet, and really help you reframe things maybe, and give you some insight. So moving ahead, my son had to go strict keto a year ago because of medical things, and he's really thriving. I had already sort of switched back into keto, and I got myself from borderline diabetes back down to normal A1C. Just recently got off of metformin for that successfully, yay. But when my son went back strict keto, I decided to go strict keto in support of him and for my own good. He's 11, so aside from having the insights into what has worked and not worked for me, I've learned over the past year how to really make the keto diet workable for him as an 11-year-old. And if it works for him, it's going to work for teenagers, and it's going to work for people who are older and have more self-control. So let me go into what I did wrong and what I see now as a healthier way to do carnivore or strict keto. So for me, mentally, if you go into a very rigid diet feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm on a rigid diet, I'm depriving myself, and I can never have these things again, and they're bad, and oh my God, I'm so deprived, and it's so hard to white knuckle it while other people are eating things that I want to eat, that's going to mess you up. What really helps is to have a more relaxed and flexible attitude about things. Now, that doesn't mean like if you are doing a carnivore elimination, as I am right now, to be more flexible with that, but it means to know, okay, at the end of this elimination, I'm going to see what's working for me, what's not working for me, and what I want to do going forward. But it's not like, oh my God, I will never again for the rest of my life be able to eat X, Y, Z if I want to. Now, there are a lot of things that after many, many years of like not eating sugar and seeing how sick I get if I do eat it, that I have really no desire to ever eat again. And you definitely, if you stay for years on some form of proper human diet, to steal Dr. Berry's phrase, keto, ketovore, carnivore, you will actually lose your taste for that stuff. I was recently at a family dinner, and my mom was used to, when I was younger and doing like whatever my candida or low carb or whatever was, like not being able to have the bread basket in front of me because it was too tempting and it really bothered me. And she was like, oh, I'm going to move the bread away from you. And I was like, oh no, Mom, don't worry about it. It doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. I don't care. I don't want it. So you will lose that taste for things. But if you get your headspace into I can never have ice cream again. I can never have whatever it is again. You're gonna feel deprived, and it's gonna make you struggle with the diet. One of the big carnivore doctors, Dr. Kiltz, he has an ice cream recipe. It's like a nice full fat ice cream. He uses a little bit of sugar. I wouldn't. When I used to make my own similar ice cream, I used stevia. You can use allulose, things like that. But he's like this big lion diet doctor, and he's not like, you can never eat ice cream. And he's mentioned, like once a month he makes himself French fries in tallow. I mean, again, unless for medical reasons your doctor has told you you have to be carnivore or whatever it is forever, and nothing in this video is medical advice, and listen to your doctor or find a good keto or carnivore doctor if you need help. But if you just allow yourself to have that mental flexibility, it's a lot easier. Last year I tripped myself up because usually every year, I will get some sort of like healthy, sugar-free birthday cake or treat for my birthday. And last year I was gonna do it, and we actually have this wonderful keto baker near us. So I was going to get something from her or somewhere else. And then I was like, no, I don't want to spend the money. It's really expensive to do those things. And I felt deprived. And it tripped me up for a while, falling into overeating. I was not overeating bad things, like I don't eat sugar, I don't want to eat that stuff. So it's not like I gained weight or whatever. It made my intestinal bloating a lot worse. It wasn't the healthiest thing. I was, eating like a lot of protein bars, like dirty keto things that weren't good for me. That messed me up. So this past February, when it was my birthday, and I knew I was going to start my month or however long I go of carnivore shortly thereafter, I ordered some nice keto treats for my birthday from a keto bakery. And it was good, and I enjoyed them, and it helped me be ready to do carnivore. So right now I am doing my month of carnivore, and I'm sorry if you hear the noise in the background. I have 2 teen/preteen kids, and a dog, and they tend to run around. And I think I didn't tell them I was recording and I needed them to be quiet, so sorry about that. But right now I'm doing at least a month of very strict carnivore. But I don't feel like, even if I decide to continue on being mostly carnivore, which from the results I'm getting, I think I'm there, I don't feel like that means, oh my God, I can never have ice cream again, or I can never have this again. Like, no. And if I were to feel like that, then that would really mess me up mentally. And I'm sorry, I'm talking louder to try to overcome the background noise. That would mess me up. And then I would be like, oh no, I might fall off the wagon. And if I did eat something bad, then, people plunge into, okay, I ate that bad, so then I'll keep eating this bad because I'm off the wagon. No, I'm probably going to be carnivore for a good while from the results that I'm getting. But carnivore is not a religion. And again, unless there's some medical reason that you cannot cheat, there are so many healthy but taste good things that you can make for yourself, or you can get places that you don't have to feel deprived. Just as an example, We recently moved to a small town that has this very cute main street, and there's an ice cream parlor there. And they have multiple flavors of sugar-free ice cream. So I guarantee you this summer, I'm going to take my kids there. There are little street fairs and stuff. We will go there. I have one child who is keto for medical reasons, another child who's more paleo. It is fine for them to have sugar-free ice cream now and then. And I will most likely have the sugar-free ice cream. And it's like, big deal if like once over the summer or once a month or whatever, I have some sugar-free ice cream. That is like, unless I was someone with a severe milk allergy, that is not going to hurt me. And it makes the diet more doable. I don't even like calling it a diet, it's just your lifestyle. It makes it more doable. Whatever that is for you, really the key is to have things that you enjoy that make you not feel deprived. And when you have them, don't see that then as a permission slip to go on a binge of like all the things, But know that you don't need to go into a binge of all the things. Because if you really feel like, gosh, I'm having a really strong craving for ice cream, you can make the ice cream. You can get Maria Emmerich's Carnivore cookbooks and you can make her chocolate pudding. You can get one of those keto treats that aren't the healthiest but are so much better for you than going out and eating sugary, crappy things, and are really, if you have them occasionally, they're not going to mess up your results or your diet. They're just not. And let me get into my son and what works for him. So for him, he, for the most part, loves his keto diet. I'm lucky that he really loves meat, and that's very helpful. But what makes it difficult for him is if he feels like he can't eat normal kid things. So I work with him so that he doesn't feel that way. For example, he was used to having pizza every Saturday night. It wasn't like Domino's crappy pizza, like I was healthier with my kids, but he was used to that. So now he has pizza most Saturday nights with some sort of keto crust. Tip for you if you live near a Trader Joe's, they make a cauliflower crust that is actually mostly cauliflower and eggs. It's not a lot of flour like other cauliflower crusts you'll see in the grocery store. It's very low carb, it doesn't have seed oils, it's nothing bad. That's very helpful to use as a crust. There are also mixes like Scotty's, and you can do it from scratch too, and there are carnivore pizza crust recipes, keto pizza crust recipes, and that's really, really helpful. And he has that generally once a week. I've also been making him a keto lasagna at least once a week lately. And that's one of my things. My keto lasagna is really, really, really good. And it's beef, tomato sauce, ricotta, pepperoni, mozzarella cheese. So I'm not saying to myself, I'm carnivore now, I'm never having the keto lasagna again. I'm like, I'm doing strict carnivore right now, but when I decide that this experiment is over, I most likely will have the keto lasagna once every couple weeks, whatever I feel like. I'm not going to say, oh, I'm making this keto lasagna, but no, I can't have it because I'm strict carnivore forever. Because that wouldn't work for me. That would be too rigid. So my son loves the keto lasagna. There's nothing bad in it on his diet. The tomato sauce doesn't have sugar. I don't do a lot of dairy with them, but having that once or twice a week, it's not a bad thing. Um, I do keto waffles with him actually a couple times a week, and I will actually just give him one waffle, and then I will put that with healthier keto things like eggs, bacon, sausage, whatever it is. But that one keto waffle, even though it's not the healthiest thing, helps him to feel like I'm a normal kid. I like waffles. I can have waffles. If I wasn't so pressed for time, I would go full Maria Emmerich and totally make everything like carnivore waffles. And I do want to start doing more of her recipes soon. So that's my other big tip. If you have a kid or a teenager, you don't want to put them in a position, or if you are a teenager listening to this, you don't want to be in this position where you feel like you're on a really restrictive diet unless there's a medical reason. But my son's on it for medical reasons, and we're still able to work with that. He tops out at about 30 grams of carb a day that he can handle without having symptoms. So we know not to go over that, and we can do a little bit of berries. We can do some things like an almond tortilla, we know are things that we can do for him to make it comfortable, to make him feel normal, to make him feel like he enjoys his diet. And he actually loves it so much that he has an Instagram about it called the Happy Keto Kid. And he's really, really thriving, and it has helped him so much. So just to sum things up, don't make your diet, whether you're doing keto or carnivore or ketovore, don't make it like it's this religious thing where I have no flexibility in my diet. I'm white knuckling it. Oh my God, if I go into a restaurant, there's nothing I can have. And that's one last tip I'll give. Most restaurants, you can figure out something really good that you can have without screwing up your diet. Chinese restaurants, and this is so good, you will thank me for this, order egg foo young with no sauce. Don't get any rice or any crap like that with it. Egg foo young with no sauce. You get these crispy, yummy, you can even ask them to do it extra crispy, these crispy, yummy omelets. It's so good. And then you're not feeling deprived. Any restaurant you go to, it's pretty easy to figure out the low carb. You can get fajitas and not eat the tortillas and no sauce. And you've got, if you're eating vegetables, you've got the meat and you've got the vegetables. If not, you can just ask for fajita meat. There are ways to work with it. If you eat dairy, most pizza places now will do a pizza bowl for you with no crust and just all the toppings. And it's so good. So, you learn ways around it. So, hi Carnivore Kipp, and thank you so much for your videos. And I couldn't not make this video after I saw you talking about struggling and going into the restaurants and stuff. And, you're so inspiring with all you're doing and your weight loss, and keep it up. But don't torture yourself, If you're going into a town or the city, think in advance about what restaurants are there and what fun thing that you could get. If you're doing dairy, is there somewhere where you could get a cheesesteak with no bun and have that yummy fried meat and the cheese, or whatever it is you like? If you're doing eggs, try my egg foo young idea. It's really, really good. We're both in the South. We've got the barbecue joints, so that's really helpful too. the other day I paid $20 for a platter of brisket to get delivered, and it was like a few slices. I was like, what? What are you people doing to me? But anyway, you can do it. But if you fall off a little and are tempted, one bad thing isn't going to screw you up. But I think really the key is to figure out how you can satisfy those cravings without messing yourself up. And I think having an ice cream machine is really, really helpful. You can make really delicious and healthy carnivore ice cream. And actually, the way I had my second child without needing fertility treatment accidentally was that I had added all this fat, this healthy fat, back into my diet, making my own sugar-free ice cream, basically Dr. Kiltz's recipe. I didn't know that's what the result was going to be. I'm very glad it was. But yeah, explore the treats you can make for yourself. Explore the things that you can really enjoy as a treat that won't mess up your diet. Like I used to do this once a year and I haven't recently, and I really should again. I used to once a year, every year, go out somewhere and get a sugar-free, extra thick milkshake. I used to like them from Friendly's, like they'll make a sugar-free milkshake for you. There are other places. Maybe I'll do that in the ice cream shop in our town. And that's so good. But you can make it yourself too. You can make like the carnivore ice cream and mix it up with like half and half. Add some vanilla. It is so good. You don't have to be deprived. So I think I'll wrap this video up here. And I hope these tips were helpful. Everyone feel free to reach out to me, and if there's any other topics you want me to address, let me know. Emma, thank you for inspiring me. Stay strong and don't be tough on yourself. And the same for you, Carnivore Kipp. And everybody, stay strong. And I'm so grateful right now that I'm on my carnivore diet. It's helping me so much. I'll talk more about that. But thank you for the inspiration for that, especially to Dr. Berry and Dr. Chafee. And I will stop rambling right now. Bye, y'all.